Hello, astrology friends. This is Melanie here from beautiful British Columbia, Victoria, BC, with the astrology weather of the week of August 2nd today until August 8th. And what a heightened time we're in. I sort of keep saying that. Sometimes it's a bit more mellow, but recently it's been very intense, and one thing chases the other. Astrologically, we need to hold on and stay calm, stay centered, and not go into centrifugal spin. So Central Leo is on now, and that is also an energy to stay, to dwell in our heart. Leo rules the heart, and Central Leo is midsummer, and it's double Leo, and that is an energy of power, of the power of love, of course. And so holding that space and radiating from there and being in healthy, strong, vibrant self-love would be the way to go. I heard years ago, or read years ago, this beautiful quote that is so apropos: Leo, live life lovingly. And Leo rules the solar plexus, the heart, and the crown. So Leo occupies or is associated with three chakras. So the solar plexus being our willpower, our power center, and can be also an ego place. Often we feel like this hit in the stomach when something or somebody attacks you, whether some aggression that is triggering you or triggering your ego, or is actually a really healthy response there. So the solar plexus is from the chakra system that I developed years ago in association with astrology, or I should say I was rather inspired. It was more like a download than a conscious or even rational development. So in that chakra association between planets and chakras, the solar plexus would relate to Mars, and then the heart to Venus, and the crown, of course, to the sun. So we need to also come from our power center to love, to the heart, to the power of love. Again, from solar plexus to heart is a really good chakra move. And that would be also from Mars to Venus, which brings us into what's going on recently. The strong Mars aspect, this highlight of the year, with Mars, Uranus, and the North Node lining all up in mid-Taurus on August 1st, yesterday. One could also say it was getting exact from the 28th, 29th on of July, but it culminated yesterday, and followed by strong, beautiful, I should say, Venus effects. So what's with that Mars? A quick review of the Mars-Uranus North Node, since we've technically already came through it or experienced it, even though the effects will radiate out for months to come, because this is rare that all three line up together. Mars meets Uranus every 2 years, and Mars meets the North Node also every 2 years, but the North Node has an 18.5-year cycle, and Uranus is an 84-year cycle, Mars a 2-year cycle. So for all three of them to line up, I didn't do the math or look it up, but I would say, I would estimate every 20 years maybe. So that is on this year. That's the second major transit of the year after the Jupiter-Neptune conjunction on April 12th. So this one is actually quite exciting. It's a firework energy. It gets us unstuck from our resistance or habits that are actually not beneficial, that can pull us into a dark zone or in a self-defeating place That's what the South Node in Scorpio would say, in combination with the North Node in Taurus. North Node in Taurus says, be grounded, come to a place of enjoyment, of love. Taurus is ruled by Venus. And go to nature, be in your nature, and find anything that is really speaking to your senses and makes you feel alive. Taurus Scorpio is also the nodal axis, and it is in a way the life-death axis. So what makes you feel dead or pulls you into dark, dead and stuck place, that you lose a lot of energy in that place if we don't have the capacity to really process all the way through. And nowadays, admittedly, there would be so much that can pull us into the dark. So making a bit of an effort to really choose habits that bring us more joy. Like, for example, instead of watching all kinds of videos or media info that creates more stress and scarcity and places of horror and anticipation of dismal situations, especially when we feel rather powerless, which is also a Scorpio low vibration as it deals with power. Then it would be wonderful to choose something more joyful and yes, good measure, good balance, but definitely also playing music that inspires us and uplifts us and moves the energy. So, and can make things so much easier, right? Being in a flow. And so Mars and Uranus, the two of them together, are quite an energy of liberation, of embodying, both in Taurus, embodying freedom. So how can you embody freedom at this point? How do you experience that? What lifts you up? What makes you feel free and excited? And yeah, so things that are actually really liberating and where you can really express yourself fully and at the same time be grounded and centered. So an expression of life is good. Yes, surprise, surprise. That's also Uranus. So experimentation and with something that you might not have done in a while. And so you probably experienced these effects already, Mars, Uranus, North Node. And then the energy shifted today to Venus, also Taurus being ruled by Venus, but now Venus is in Cancer, while the moon, Venus been in Cancer since July, when is that, 17th or something, and until August 11th, when she goes into Leo. And now we have this mutual reception going on yesterday and today. Beautiful occasion to explain what that's about. So we have Venus in Cancer still going on for a while until August 11th. And we have yesterday and today the moon in Libra. So the moon is in the sign of Venus, ruled by Venus. Venus rules Libra and Taurus. And the Venus is in the sign of the moon, which is Cancer. So they are in each other's signs and they play with each other. It's like a reflection. It's called a mutual reception. It's like a closed loop, an infinity loop. And both are beautiful, sweet, and loving energies. So hopefully you have experienced that as well. I've been riding this wave here today while being also productive and doing some creative work in the home to make it more beautiful. It's all very Venus in Cancer, Moon in Libra, and playing music at the same time. Really sweet vibes. And yeah, so that's an energy today, and then and tomorrow still going on, so I've missed it. Now, yes, we are in the week between Lammas and the Mars-Uranus transit, Mars-Uranus North Node, and between August 1st pretty much and August 8th, which is the Lion's Gate. And it's pretty cool synchronicity that behind my movie window here, the lion has shown up. Random screensaver, not so random. So I have some lion backup here, literally. Anyway, so we are moving, confirming here that we are in a strong lion energy and Leo, central Leo power gate, the Lion's Gate being 8-8 Lion's Gate being celebrated and honored for, I don't know for how long, whether the whole thing started when it became sort of more popular in a spiritual community about 10-15 years ago, or whether that's really an old tradition. You tell me. Anyway, it's at that time around 8-8 is also when Sirius rises. It's called the heliacal rising. Helios means the sun, so Sirius will rise ahead of the sun at dawn. Venus will be seen before sunrise, and that always happens around 8-8. Now, why is Sirius important? Sirius is considered our spiritual sun, and Sirius has a strong association with Egypt, with ancient Egypt. So Sirius being, so the rising of Sirius was considered a sign that the flooding of the Nile would start again, making the land more fertile again. So very welcome sign every year. And Sirius in ancient Egypt is also associated with the goddess Isis. Orion is associated with Osiris. So there's lots of mystical connections that in plain sight, but more than what is obvious, right? So secrets in plain sight in a way. And yeah, so a goddess rising also, strong goddess energy with Sirius and being this beautiful blue star. So if you ever have a chance to see Sirius through a telescope, do it. I saw Sirius a long time ago through a friend's telescope in winter, which is of course much better because Sirius will be higher in the ecliptic and rather than at dawn in August, September. So yeah, do it and let Sirius speak to you and infuse you. Let it be an initiation by Sirius if that blue star is activating you. So the Lion's Gate 8-8. Open your gate, open the doors of your heart. Let love in, radiate love out, and be the strong and loving being in your sovereignty, very Leo, that you are. Now we have, speaking of the moon, being in Libra today and tomorrow, then going into Scorpio. So what's going on this week with the moon? The moon is waxing from new moon, right? So we have the new moon just on the 28th, and now we have a crescent moon. Hopefully you've seen a beautiful young crescent moon now waxing in the evening sky after sunset, and still in Libra tomorrow, and in Scorpio from the morning, always Pacific Daylight Savings Time here, right? The morning of August 4th, and also 5th is Scorpio moon. That will be then a half moon, right? Because the sun is in Leo, the moon in Scorpio. That is a square. There are 3 signs apart, and that can be a tension between your emotional, your moods, your needs, your sensitivity, and your conscious self. So with a Scorpio moon, always a bit of a caveat because it can bring up dark stuff. It links back to Pluto, and it links also nowadays to the South Node in Scorpio. So if you get into a funk, know that this is temporary, A, and B, also acknowledge what comes up as shadow, and hopefully it gives you a beautiful opportunity to process stuff that is otherwise unseen and not acknowledged. So Scorpio moon, as I said, Thursday and Friday, and then the moon goes over the Phoenix point. I call this Phoenix point from Scorpio to Sag, Phoenix rising. So we're coming through a deep, dark process that feels like a deathing of something, and rise again, come out on the other end, have a story, have an understanding, and move onward, upward, forward from the heart. And so Sagittarius moon on Saturday, Sunday, and then on the Monday, the Lion's Gate, the moon will be from 11:39 a.m. on in Capricorn. So as the moon crosses the winter solstice point of Sag to Capricorn, and around noon on Monday, I call this cusp the integrity point. So this is about putting our understanding that Sag provides and has great access to into practice and into showing up with what we know and understand. So in other words, walking our talk, being integrity, and more grounded. Capricorn. So Capricorn moon on Monday noon until also Wednesday noon. And then we can continue next week with a Capricorn Aquarius moon, and that takes us then also to the full moon on August 11th, full moon in Aquarius and Leo. So don't want to anticipate that, more about that next week, and of course also on the blog where I always post articles for particular themes, and you can find the compilation, the combination, and fusion of it all in the email Astro News. If you're interested in reading and subscribing and not missing a beat, then it will get delivered into your inbox. Just subscribe on my Facebook page or send me a private message on Facebook and with your email address, and I subscribe you. So moon, what else do we have? We have Mercury going into, let's first talk about Venus. Let's just talk about the moon. Venus, as I said, now in the sign of the moon, Cancer, she is now actually only really catching up momentum and forming aspects in her last phase in Cancer. Before it was more like latent or sporadic, but now there's a lot of aspects kicking in. Let me just see what these are like to have a good sense in overview. So we're having, today, so August 2nd, 5th, 7th, 8th, and then on the 11th she will go into Leo. So today, August 2nd, Venus in mid-Cancer has been in sextile with Uranus, Mars, and the North Node in Taurus. So that's been also a really sweet combination. A sextile is also a Venus aspect. So it's a real soft energy to it and sweet. And so that I said in my blog article, theme is find safety and nurturing within yourself, and that can lead to paradigm shifts to more embodied freedom, which is the Uranus Mars in Taurus energy. Then on August 5th, Venus will go towards end of Cancer and be in quincunx, that means 5 signs apart, with Saturn, which is currently retrograde in Aquarius. So now with quincunx, it's always like, how does this go together with that? There's a bit of a weird, odd combination of these different energies that could drift apart, could lose track of each other, but they know they're important to each other. So that Venus-Saturn aspect is, I suggested, how does sensitivity to one's rhythm, Venus in Cancer, go together with internalized social or societal norms, right? So Saturn Aquarius might say like, yeah, no, not supposed to do this, not supposed to do this now at this time, or take so long, or this time of day, or this time in your life. So that's all these shoulds that can come from Saturn Aquarius, which we now notice and can call out that these are conditionings. It's not a natural law, right? It's got to be so. It has been shaped and formed in society. And hence also my question, where does the inner authority come in? So Saturn retrograde now until end of October calls us to be in our inner authority. Now on August 7th, Venus, now end of Cancer, which is the Pisces part of Cancer, she is in water trine, another beautiful aspect, with her higher octave Neptune retro in Pisces in its own sign. So Neptune is the higher octave of Venus. Neptune is like the transpersonal, spiritual aspect of love and connectedness through oneness. And Venus is more like the personal energy of love and attraction and personal desires. So, but they go beautifully together with that trine aspect. I have my lion's mane here on. It's like too big. Okay. Anyway, so Venus, Neptune, as a gentleness and flow allows to connect and to release, which is all like Neptune in Pisces. It's like the ocean. Connect, surf the wave, be on the wave, but also release, be in a flow. And with love, be like the ocean. Yes. Stay connected, in tune with the universe, and in open, receptive, and fluid mode. Beautiful energies, Venus, Neptune, which comes only, that trine comes twice a year, right? So Venus forms a trine to Neptune currently in Pisces till 2026, when Venus is either in Cancer or in Scorpio. Now on August 8th, the Lion's Gate, Venus will also have an aspect. The last one will form an aspect with Pluto. Yes, Venus end of Cancer opposes Pluto and retrograde end of Capricorn. So that is a polarity now again. And because Pluto is intense and often is about extremes. So the question is, you might feel in an all or nothing mode, all or nothing at all mode, so intense. Or you may fall in love in a way you never have, right? So Pluto also takes us deeper and says, let's go to soul and not to all these outer criteria and phenomena that attract people. Now, or maybe something needs to deeply change, right? That's also Pluto in Scorpio, and help you return to what matters most. That's a Pluto in Scorpio thing. So how does Venus then come in? What's a wise choice from the heart? So this much for Venus. So this time I was reading things, which I enjoyed also, and we can always mix it up. Now, lastly, tomorrow, August 3rd, Mercury goes into Virgo. Mercury has been now in Leo, and that's been a very vibrant, expressive energy, showing our colors, roaring as needed. But some people were also loud and very much in their own self, expressing itself. I said also for Mercury in Leo, narcissist alert, right? So narcissistic tendencies come out through communication or the lack thereof. And Mercury goes into Virgo, which is much more grounded, practical, and rational. So Mercury rules Virgo. Mercury also rules Gemini. In Virgo, it's more like the energy of practice, of the fine-tuning, of problem solving, of looking at situations more realistically and rationally, and finding solutions to old problems, and doing the work, maybe having new ideas for work and service. And heed the tendency and the danger of Mercury in Virgo of criticism, self-criticism, fault finding, and perfectionism. So channel that energy rather into what can be done in a better way here. And also self-awareness comes in because Mercury crosses that Leo to Virgo Sphinx point cusp tomorrow. So that is known in astrology as the Leo Virgo is known as the Sphinx point. So it is about the strong self is now like the king or queen is turning his or her energy, their energy, into service, and also doing what we love and helping other people with that rather than being so self oriented. And also self awareness in which could be very casual, or very casual practical in a way of like, oh my gosh, what am I doing? Or it can be very spiritual, very spiritual. Or it can be more accessing that from a spiritual perspective. In other words, like, what is the self, the deeper self that experiences all of this, rather than being caught in it, right? In the experience, observing, witnessing, having an awareness of the actor, of the agent, of the persona, of these expressions of the self, while dwelling near the place where the actual self is. Because being the self, being really in the self consistently, that is an ongoing journey, but always an inspiration. And so Mercury will be in Virgo for a really long time, in 2 phases. Yes, Mercury will go retrograde, that's why. So the first phase is tomorrow, August 3rd, till August 25th. And then the second phase is September 23rd to October 10th, because after August 25th, Mercury will go into Libra. And from Libra, will go retrograde on 9/9, September 9th, until October 2nd. And so Mercury will go from Libra back to Virgo and forward from Virgo again on October 2nd. But Mercury will be already in Virgo again from September 23rd till finally October 10th, going fully through and leaving Virgo, not going back retro. So I hope that wasn't too complicated. If it was a good experience of how complicated Mercury in Virgo can get. Anyway, so keep it simple, stay in the flow, don't be too problem focused, but look at situations in a more realistic, practical way, and also what can be done about it. I leave it with this because my sense is we're already going over 25 minutes. Yes, we're getting close to 30 minutes. And I sign off here. I wish you a wonderful week here, mid-Leo, midsummer, and see you again on this channel next week. And in the meantime, this is Client Appreciation Month of August. Just really excited to remind you again that now is a wonderful time to get an astrology session, especially if you have been my client for a long time, because it's the anniversary of my practice, 22 years of astrology, and every year in August I give beautiful big discounts to clients, especially if they've been with me for a long time. So 11% for the newbies and everybody who's been with me for up to a year, 22% for everybody who's been with me until for the time since for 11 years, up to 11 years. Sorry, 22% for everybody who's has been my client for up to 11 years, and 33% for everybody who's been my client for 11 to 22 years. So yeah, I can check with you if you don't know, because I got a client database where that should be recorded. And yeah, welcome you to that. And I also welcome you to the Medicine Horses and Chiron Astrology Gathering in Coombs on Sunday. I will post links to this event and to the offer down below the video. And these links are Facebook events, so you can access them, I guess, also if you're not on Facebook, because it's public. And yeah, so I welcome you to all of this. And now I'm really signing off, and it's already 31 minutes. And I had lots of fun here. Wishing you well, and hope to see you again soon. Take care.